Doors closing. Clark and Lake is next. Doors open on the right at Clark and Lake. Transfer to green, blue, orange, and pink line trains, City Hall and the Thompson Center at Clark and Lake. This is Clark and Lake. Transfer to green, blue, orange, and pink line trains, City Hall and the Thompson Center at Clark and Lake. This is a Purple Line Express. Doors closing. State and Lake is next. Doors open on the right at State and Lake. Transfer to Red Line trains at State and Lake. This is State and Lake. Transfer to Red Line trains at State and Lake. This is a Purple Line Express. Doors closing. Washington and Wabash is next. Doors open on the right at Washington and Wabash. Connect to Metra and South Shore Line Millennium Station at Washington and Wabash. This is Washington and Wabash. Connect to Metra and South Shore Line Millennium Station at Washington and Wabash. This is a Purple Line Express. Doors closing. Adams and Wabash is next. Doors open on the right at Adams and Wabash. This is Adams and Wabash. This is a Purple Line Express. This is Adams and Wabash. This is a Purple Line Express. Doors closing. Harold Washington Library, State and Van Buren is next. Doors open on the right at Harold Washington Library, State and Van Buren. Transfer to Red and Blue Line trains at Harold Washington Library, State and Van Buren. This is Harold Washington Library, State and Van Buren. Transfer to Red and Blue Line trains at Harold Washington Library, State and Van Buren. This is a Purple Line Express. Doors closing. LaSalle and Van Buren is next. Doors open on the right at LaSalle and Van Buren. Transfer to Metra trains at LaSalle and Van Buren. This is LaSalle and Van Buren. Transfer to Metra trains at LaSalle and Van Buren. This is a Purple Line Express. Doors open on the right at Quincy. Transfer to Metra and Amtrak trains at Quincy.
I like it up here. Feel more stuff. True.
This is Quincy. Transfer to Metra and Amtrak trains at Quincy. This is a Purple Line Express. Doors closing. Washington and Wells is next. Doors open on the right at Washington and Wells. Transfer to Metro trains and City Hall at Washington and Wells. This is Washington and Wells. Transfer to Metro trains and City Hall at Washington and Wells. This is a Purple Line Express. Doors closing.
No, there's no free transfer.
Merchandise Mart is next.
Well, I haven't that much money, so.
In the direction of travel, doors open on the right at Merchandise Mart.
I'm fine.
Transfer to Brown Line trains at Merchandise Mart. Your safety is important. If you observe unattended packages, vandalism, or suspicious activity, inform CTA personnel immediately. This is Merchandise Mart. Transfer to Brown Line trains at Merchandise Mart. This is a Purple Line Express.